The age-old question with every tree is how long will it take to produce flowers or seeds? A lot of the information online says that Royal Poinciana trees should take around 5 years to start flowering. And for the most part, this is true. But growing conditions can make a huge difference in when the blooming stage begins. Because Royal Poincianas only typically live around 50 years, they try to go to seed as quickly as they can. So really, the second the branches are big enough to hold the large seed pods they produce, they will start to flower right away. Over the last decade or so, we've had 3 different Royal Poinciana trees here in our yard, all of which started flowering at completely different times, even though they all started from seed the same year. One of those 3 trees popped up in our main garden area, where its root system has been entirely covered with wood chip compost. Because of the full sun exposure and the rich soil that was over the roots, this tree began to flower in just 4 years from seed, which is remarkably quick. On top of that, this one also had the best root system and the thickest trunk. Now, the second Poinciana tree was planted in an area made up primarily of sand and shell gravel. There's full sun exposure, but there's trees directly behind it. It flowered in full for the first time this spring, roughly 7 years after it was grown from seed. It's also worth mentioning that this particular tree has never been fertilized or watered consistently at any point during its life. Yet it has still managed to develop beautifully. Now, the third is actually a set of 2 trees that popped up in an area that also has the shell gravel and the sand. Just like the previous tree, these 2 did not receive any consistent watering, fertilizing, or mulching throughout their entire life. And they live in a shady area right beneath a 60-foot pine tree. Just like the others, they're also on their 7th year of growth. Yet the flowers are still minimal. Also, when you compare the structure of these trees to the other 2 that had more sun exposure and weren't crowded, it is evident that they are significantly more leggy than their counterparts, having a much thinner trunk and base, as well as attempting to grow taller than each other and the pine tree immediately above them. What I take away from this is that having high-quality soil with compost will definitely help to reach that mature flowering stage much quicker. But direct sunlight is absolutely essential if you want to get a large amount of flowers once the tree hits its mature age, as well as ensuring that they're not crowded into a small area. So when planting Poinciana trees, take a close look at your surroundings, ensuring that the sky is open all around, and you are guaranteed to have a vibrant red canopy year after year. The flowers open in sequence as each bud matures. So even though the flowers are relatively short-lived, you typically will have continuous blooms from early May all the way into mid-June. Now, if you're watching this video knowing you've already planted your Royal Poinciana tree in an area that doesn't get a ton of direct sun, it may be worth a try to apply a fertilizer that is heavy in phosphorus, such as bone meal. Phosphorus is the primary macronutrient that drives plant reproduction and flowering. So in doing this, you'll likely see a great increase in flower production, even if your tree is in less than ideal conditions. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you have any additional questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. But if you're interested in seeing more projects like this, as well as my countless other YouTube endeavors involving gardening, sound design, and drums, feel free to support my work via the Patreon link in the description. Thank you for watching, and happy growing.